The hardest thing is to take on the karma of the Venus vibration. And that's what we are leaning towards, like kind of the elephant in the room. Venus being trying to Neptune, and then Neptune trying to Mars. There's a grand trine in water, and that's a very spiritual suggestion. It's a big look into our nourishment systems, really, of all kinds, which really boils down to water and how we nurture each other and water each other, perhaps. But really, it's deeper. It's more like the right. So it's the vibrational frequency that we are offering or emanating off that begins to, it's like it's resonation. That's what, when I think of water, ultimately we're getting into kind of non-physical, but no, it's very physical, right? Isn't water physical? I'm trying to keep my eye on my cat here for everybody, because it's probably more interesting, right? But just talking about honoring what's really in the air nowadays. She's checking her food. Um, Besides for the cardinal square that is very epic with Pluto. Pluto is it's the last of the last. It's like, phew, heavy duty, my dark night of the soul upon me for a long time, and I think I speak for a lot of humanity saying this. And it's not going to end, really. It's just beginning with, if you want to talk about Pluto going through Aquarius, that's kind of a big, talk about a test. It's like, do you realize that we're only just beginning? And so, having said this, what do you think? Do you think Christ Jesus was right, or any other system was correct in practicing being giving of yourself? Like, say, you give whatever you have that is needed. To tell you the truth, if you can meet that need, and it's calling, and you're there, and you meet it, what do you think? Do you think you are going to be repaid? See, the thing is where I come from, is that no, you're actually very fortunate to have been able to meet the need in the first place, and that's a given. That, like, already, that's not a question. You are most likely moving in what is called grace. Grace in your face, I guess, which just knows how to live. It's truly the living. It feels good, how about that? Feels good. See, getting back to your favorite subject matter of narcissism and or the binary kind of processor, which lives on ones and zeros, but it's more like on and off, but more like I win, you lose, based in a fear orientated like atmosphere that literally it's a matter of whether or not you get food. Right? A lot of times, really, that's the money system right there. Now I'm pointing at academia, all of it. I mean, if you can imagine, have you taken care of that with yourself? Today, have you eaten yet today? Thank you very much. And so you can think more level-headed. And it depends on what you eat. That's a big thing too. Like, you should be careful, really, of the whole mind game that even thinks that food is what fuels our entire electrical bodies, which, boy, when it comes to our electrical bodies, you'll be surprised um, how much material that you can come up with that's ages old, and then even now some people are trying to poke their head up about it, and even I will say, well, our electrical body, when it comes to our real, like, spiritual lives, we don't need food. Food it gets more and more of a kind of, it's the same as, I hate to say it, but sex, or even just life itself. The whole thing. This is none of this is yours. It's an illusion. And can you let go of it enough, but be tethered to it in such a way that it can actually have a video and a cat in the background playing and tell you about it? The answer is good luck to us all, right? I'm far from being, well, I have gotten close to having no food and water. I have experienced something that was like, now why didn't I die? Right? Exactly that. A lot of times you'll have these stories of people who are trying to do that, and they can't, it's just, they're not in control of it. You are hooked up electrically to a kind of, it's a video game, if you haven't noticed. Boy, I have. There's video games. Why are they called video games? It's because, first of all, our language control of something, possibly, that some kind of, it is tedious to maintain the human intention within the whole potential of the organism. Thanks for listening to Shauna's Sci-Fi. It's Sunday. The full moon is going to be happening on the 17th, I think. It's going to set off a grand cross in the sky, and it has to do with, well, we'll take it from Aries to Capricorn and back. Aries is the moon, and Cancer is Mars. See, there's a moon square Mars in the sky. That's emotionally painful. It's kind of malefic. It could be just, for me, emotionally painful comes in mind. There's a lot going on the planet right now with flooding, right? The floods, literally, it's like water. Well, as there's less study on how ignorant everybody really is, and how less. It's really hard to maintain your relationship with the earth, particularly where I'm at. It's just a story. It's really interesting. Really, really interesting as far as I'm concerned. It's like, here it is happening on a microclimatic scale, more like just little old me here, but it's like, no, it shouldn't be that it's a wash for me on any level at all. See, this is where I'm being led to talk about our relationships, and how much of it is programming that leads us to think that it should be a certain way, right? Particularly now, I do lead myself to, and a lot of Buddhist monks, I guess, talk about they say, well, why does it have to be limited to just a one-on-one? But what I mean is, get your awareness to where it's called staying still. Like, it's going so quick. I mean, the quickest you can go is right here, right now. Expand. See, I was trying to talk about the higher octave of love, which is exactly that. It's like, can you be present to what is like needed around you? Not only around you. See, in case there's an ecology of people, in case the kids were watching, how about that? Being present. I see the staying still thing. Now we'll get back to a tree sitting there, or a rock. That's why we love the mountainous areas in the wilderness, is because it helps us see how we can get up to par, man. Right up to the intelligence of a tree. Woo! A rock, no less. We can have that much patience. Can you believe it? Just sit there and well, man, watch it, because this is just a very temporary life. And are you spending the time you need to spend with whatever? See, people like me and this that are getting on this, and that could be even watching this for this amount of a time, and you hung on to it now. You like people. You are wanting life to be in that real time association. What are we going to do next? And see, what we're going to do next is try to transcend the fear that's happening, the fear programming. See, a lot of people, my experience now, just wiping the sleep out of my eyes and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. People are possessed with their possessions. They they are very right. They're bubble oriented. Not everybody is for everybody, right? So what are we going to do though? See how, but to what extent do we hang on to our bubbles that we watch the potential of all of humanity crumble down? And it could be too late for sure. It is. We are definitely imprisoned here. It's better to talk about our imprisonment by the possibility that there are aliens. How about that? Now I can turn this into my space alien section. And for all I know, and you, is that we are in the middle of a simulation right now here. I don't know about you, but I tried to tell you on my last videos, it's wearing a green shirt that's now heading into over the weekend, and happy Monday, by the way, happy full moon. The experience that I've had just over the last 3 days, I think it's a sacred experience. It's not a bad thing that happened, but something is trying to show me the nature of this reality. And anyway, I'll just shut back up. Oh, I love this baby. I love it. She just wants to take a little nap. We went through a morning of playing. Yes, your young animal or your baby animal, they are going through a process of growing that's just profound, like the same as a human being. I mean, they're getting into a soul, and they are assessing in certain ways, like their environment, and they're really getting into the soul of soul or something. It's like who is there and what's going on. I mean, I am having the most profound experience. Thank you very much, God. So I'm saying it, and getting back to here it is. Like what I'm saying with the whole video is some of it is reaching a higher octave of love, which is a certain kind of availability or present to the present. And really, I hate to tell all you people, but we can't do that but with our physical bodies. But the cameras, and I'm hearing other people talk about it, when they start using language to feed into us what has happened, like what to think about it, they start talking about it 50 million times over and over again, like several sources only, right? And it's the source that really is able to amplify into our perceptions through the screens, which is, I call it antisocial if it's the TV set, because it's not the social media. It's not people saying, no, actually, this is what happened. And they have cameras and stuff, and they ask a question about what has happened in front of our face. And it's interesting to see what happened during the World Trade Center and the 9/11 thing, and what that really was, how it called into the system of monitor and even screening, really, just attention, really, and they were able to try and control even more than ever. But that was an experiment that nobody even knows what the hell happened there. So anyway, um, yeah, I'm just talking because I was hoping to alert people to this um, possibility for us. It doesn't have to be as controlled as, I don't know why people think they have to do it any other way except for to go like this. Hey, I see how you use your camera. The system wants you so isolated in this idea of an illusion of separateness that is like, wow, whew, when are we going to click out of that and just sit in the same room and say, can you believe that? How really, we couldn't show up just around the corner for each other, not just around the corner. Like, why do we end up on even same block? And it ends up that we can't even give a fuck about each other. Comment section down below, really, because see, and what am I talking about, Shauna? What's up with you? Well, I live in a part of the prison system, I guess you'd say, on planet Earth, where I was here first. We kind of sit here quietly, and we're like, oh, hey, hi. We are noticing how interactive it's getting or not getting, you know, and for sure when we get closer with the Pluto going into Aquarius and then it aspects the air planets and my generation Libra, we're going to start opening up into, do you notice how important the human ecology really is, or just forget it? I mean, we do have to revert into Mother Nature and act like Rambo and be a soloist or something, and then and stand up against society who says you're, you know, who says you're crazy. Everybody's calling each other crazy. Really, it's just one person against all of them. And let's lift up and use the highest technology, which is love. I was trying to tell you, and it has nothing to do with what the narcissists think. They really are getting into it like this, and we understand it as far as whoever is achieved at the higher octave. It's like, no, you do. You have a profound responsibility to your ecological circumstances, like, say, whatever happens. If it's a 1 minute interaction when you're just walking down the street and crossing paths, or 1 hour, or 1 year, or 10 years, why can't you just give it your utmost, like, attention, saying, I honor you as I honor my very life here. It's like, you know, greeting it like, see, this is the thing, is everybody's jaded with that, right? Too much people. See, when you're around it too much, and what are you around though? What are you around too much that you have to take a break from? Because why would you have to take a break from it if it wasn't? See, where are you going? You're going to the real? Well, why don't you just stay real and then see what happens there, you see? So having said that, I'm here to tell you guys that, I hope you can see me here, that my cat is trying to, she's just tired and she really is just like, okay, you want to go to sleep, babe? It's within moments, really, the days that you are passing, the time that they are growing. It's the same with humans, really, everything, right? And yeah, do you have a friend out there? Are you a friend to the entire friend system, kind of thing? And what kind of thing is it? That's the narcissist, you'll see it. I don't know if you know, and we'll talk about it now. That it's your favorite subject matter, and you wouldn't be watching me unless, apparently, I talk about that. So you notice that they don't really give animals the time of day. Like when you're doing it in front of them, you get this real sense that they're jealous, that they're about ready to leave. Like they will smash something on the ground and say, "Look at me, damn it!" Right? And it's like they are like that. Really, isn't it fucked up when you catch on to somebody like that? It's like you're like, "Oh no, this is a fucked up fucking zoo." And how did I end up in a pen with this fucking shit? I say the financial system creates a pen. Yeah, the corral system. And what is it? Like, what is it really? Well, shit, man. We'll figure it out. We have a little time. You can see we can't force anything through anything we're going through. I mean, if anything, we have, what I mean is we can't force 10 pounds of shit through a 1 pound bag. It has to, eventually we have to sew the bag up and say, God, we're becoming more, we sew it up with ourselves, by the way. You become something that is more on the level of receiving. See, that's where I'm getting. It's like, God, how do I do this? How do we flip this damn thing around to, first of all, let's make social media benefit us. To me, it's an obvious, you know, and once we do figure that out, oh, it might happen. See, it could. And that's when they turn the electricity off. You know, they will never do it as long as it's turned around, that it does nothing for us, but it serves as a fucking, like a feeding ground for, like I said, narcissists, for loosh, people feeding on other people's loosh. And you have to be, now having said this, do you realize where you're at, ladies and gentlemen? All of you that are going through such the so-called hard time of, of particularly now, you know, the death that you're handling. See, especially see now with Pluto in at the 29th degree, the Aries people are having to let go of some things, and it's no fun when it's your pets or your animal or your friends, that are dying around you. But that's one of the illusions that we have to sit through now. See what it is. It's like you have an inner world, a sanctum that collects good memory, and you're not really losing those things, especially pets. When they get up to old age, getting up to the 15, 16 years old, 20 years old, congratulations, you have just managed to, you had them. You're not losing them. You didn't lose them. You have them in in a memory bank. See, they're gonna be there for you. They are. It's not what you think. These little guys here. See, however long or short that they're with us, cherish it, cherish it, cherish it. Especially now. Especially now, they need us more than ever. Animals do, but the entire Earth does. Yes, the entire Earth needs us more than ever to just love it, to feel how it's yielding all the time. It's loving us all the time, always offering a chance for us to be present in such a way that it's just profound. It's profound because there's a loop cycle, a loop-de-loop, where things get better, things get more intelligent. You get more and more. As you feed it, it feeds back into you. And it's so much more than just daily bread. And that kind of chug that is really, talk about a chug, big deal. There's the saying that says, man does not live on bread alone. And I don't know where women went, but she's probably sitting there going, wait a minute, excuse me? I mean, can't you cook a decent loaf of bread? Thank you for your donations. There's my PayPal and my, um, why? Well, it's for no reason but to figure out how to give. We're here to just rain down whatever you have to give. And I guess for me, it's just my blah, blah, blah for the last. But really, I was doing astrology for you, and I was trying to point out some vital things about the grand trine that's happening. Don't miss it. Talk about just slow down and drink your tea, slow, your water. Understand what has happened there with the seeping of the, the leaf inside of the water. That you now have this infusion. It's called infusion. It's not tea. There's a plant named tea, but the infusions that you're doing with your herbs inside of your water, consider it. And then also the same as how, yes, we are resonators, right? We are trying to feed each other and be there for each other in such a way is really much more deeper than anything we can say, really. There's a presence, right? And having said that, we have this capability, and I would love to see. I was going to say, well, you know what, man, if I get 10 people to send me $10, Aquarius moon, I mean, come on, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and we are so weird because we are electronic. Because we are going to use technology for something that's going to be just like, it's going to be like, okay, and now we have robots to do, and you're not interested unless you've paid $30,000, and that robot doesn't even care. It's just going to let you have sex with it, and you're fucking out $30,000.